Bless the Lord, this thing is not working for me today. This is not good. Oh, let's do this recording. So, welcome to Multiple Myeloma and How It Affects Black People, brought to you by MFHM Ministries podcast, MFHM Talks podcast. And we're here to talk to you about the things that can happen as you go through the process of trying to find your health when there's disease that's roundabout. I have on the line right now the CEO and founder of the Lasco Cancer Fund, Robert Lasco. Would you like to greet the people, please?
How you doing? God bless you.
All right. We have the brief information introduction of the program. Robert Lasco is a Chief Executive Officer of Lasco Cancer Fund, doing business as Multiple Myeloma Cancer Fund. Robert Lasco founded a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 2014. After being diagnosed with cancer and multiple myeloma, the organization was birthed. Robert is passionate about bringing education and awareness about multiple myeloma to society at large. Robert has partnered with several pharmaceutical companies as a spokesman for multiple myeloma in the African American community. Robert Lasco and his wife Sharon are both advocates for cure for multiple myeloma and effective treatments. Previously, Robert Lasco worked for the city of Charlotte as a manhole inspector and has served as an minister in a local church. He has always been passionate about serving others, and he looks forward to continuing this path as a multiple myeloma advocate. The program has 3 tiers. Starting off with the vision statement is to produce hope, to provide hope and educational awareness to individuals and families affected by multiple myeloma and other cancerous diseases, while endeavoring to provide the most innovative resources through sustaining partnerships with the global medical community. Secondly, the First Life program is designed to bring awareness and education about multiple myeloma to the general public. The Second Life program is designed to teach patients who have multiple myeloma about patient lifestyle issues, disease overview management, and complications associated with multiple myeloma and community resources. The Third Life program is designed to formulate discussions between medical professionals about clinical trials, research methodology, and effective ways to treat multiple myeloma. For those of you who do not know what multiple myeloma is, it is a type of cancer. It's called blood cancer in some cases, but it's when the plasma cells overproduce. This is a type of white blood cell. These white blood cells are in place to help you fight off diseases and colds and viruses and so forth on that end. When it's produced too much, it can cause a cancerous scenario. See, these cells are mostly found in the bone marrow throughout, though they can be found in other organs and tissue throughout the body. Abnormal plasma cells in the bone marrow may behave in unusual ways. They may begin to divide at a rate that's faster than normal, leading to the generation of more abnormal plasma cells. These specific changes may lead to multiple myeloma or another precancerous condition. A precancerous condition, hold on a second, please. Good afternoon. How are you, Mrs. Stewart?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello.
Hello.
And how are you, Mrs. Stewart?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing just fine. I was in the process of introducing the multiple myeloma, what this was all about, to the public here, and you're online right now. Would you be so kind as to share your name and your history dealing with multiple myeloma?
My name is Valerie Stewart, and I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma in 2020. And from there, my primary doctor quickly referred me to an oncologist, and he's still my oncologist today. And he then gave me a plan for multiple myeloma. He explained what it was and that it affects the blood, and told me what it entailed. And then he let me know of the plan that they wanted to take, which was a series of treatments, infusions on a monthly basis. And then in 2021 of February, they wanted me to go to Emory and become a candidate for stem cell transplant. So I think it was mid-year 2020, and they started the treatments. I had treatments for 6 months, and then in January they started preparing me for the stem cell transplant. Now, the stem cell transplant was started out where I had to go to Emory, and they took some stem cells out. Some stem cells out to make sure everything was good, and then they froze those stem cells.
Okay.
And then from January to February, I had to take shots in my stomach every day, twice a day, to prepare my body for the treatment, for the stem cell transplant. In February, we went down to Emory, and they, before that, I went in and they took out the stem cells.
Mm-hmm.
They took out the stem cells before, and then I went in, and then after that, I started to prepare they took out the stem cells and cleaned them up, and then I came back home for a week. I couldn't be around anybody because my immune system was compromised, so I couldn't be around anybody except, my immediate family that lived with me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stay in one place. I had to stay in my room. I couldn't go anywhere. And then that was then I prepared my body for them putting the stem cells back in. And so I think it was about a week or two, and then I went to Emory and I was admitted in the hospital, and they did the transplant where they put the stem cells. They were clean, and so they put the clean stem cells back in my body. That entailed a very high dose. It was at night they gave me chemotherapy, like all through the night. Chemotherapy was given to me.
Mm-hmm.
The stem cells were put back in, and that I stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks. They wanted to see, how the stem cells reacted to my body, and then I got really, really weak, very weak, very, very weak. And then, and I exercised every day. I had to exercise every day, but then there was a time where I got very weak, and especially when they were saying, okay, everything is over. I had to stay in the Atlanta area near Emory for 2 more weeks. And during that time, we went back to the doctor, and they had to admit me back into the hospital because I was really weak. Everything was really low. And they had to admit me back and do some things. And then I had to stay a little bit longer. So I was down there for about a month. And after that, they didn't see any more. They didn't see any of the myeloma in my blood, thank God. And that was a blessing. I was healed. They said I went into remission, but I'm healed. But I mean, there was still some things as a result of the of my hemoglobin, my immune system being compromised and down low. There has been some things as a result. But thank God, I just went to the doctor last week, to my oncologist, and everything is still good. They don't see anything. Well, I know they won't see anything, but everything is still going well, So it's just a matter of, just getting stronger and stronger. So that's what it was.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Valerie Stewart.
No, wait. Valerie.
Yeah, Valerie.
Okay, my name is Robert Lasco. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine. I was just thinking about when you, the stem cells, when they put it back in you, that was a very bad taste. That was anytime I talked to Bill like that, it wasn't no that was good. No, that was good. So that's why I was saying to you, I said, Lord have mercy. But God bless you that you are still remission or healed in Jesus' name.
Amen.
100%. I believe that just as well. And it's good to hear somebody else talk about it except me. So thank God for that. So God bless you.
Did you or do you have multiple myeloma?
I was born, Jesus. 2013, February 14th, 2013. And I've been dealing with this for 12 years, now 13 years.
Aren't you in remission now, Robert?
No, I was in and then I was out again because they had these little three, I want to say, these 3 things I called. I had to get another one stop working. It was working, and then they went to another one. So it's always a thing that's not working, and then they say, "Oh well, we got 2, 3, 4." So we'll go through whatever it is, and then we'll keep doing it. So I'm hoping that the numbers that went down completely. It was from 3,000, now it's 330, and so I'm hoping here on Wednesday that I am in remission this time forever. That's what I believe for. And go ahead.
So you're having to do the infusions, the treatment?
I did some of them. This from here takes 2 shots to my stomach, but now I let them do it in my shoulder. I mean my arms, and they do that, and then when they did, I had to go to the hospital. I say 2 times.
Okay.
To make sure that I would, if I had anything, they would say, "Oh well, we can deal with it." I mean, if it goes I'm trying to say, if it goes bad. So I did well with that one, and now I just once I get these shots, it takes like 30 minutes, and then I'm going home. But that's it. So I'm good right now.
Right.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, but like I said, some of this stuff it's been so many different. I like to say them 3 things together. I done met them devils in more than one time. But I'm just saying,
they didn't give you the option of the stem cell transplant.
I had that at the beginning in 2013. In 2014, that's when I had it, and I did that, and it didn't. Well, for me, it didn't. Well, let me do it this way. It didn't work. It didn't really work for me. Like everybody else, so you're blessed. Some people it didn't stop. And these are the things when we were asking people about dealing with multiple myeloma. This is a cancer that started with people at 65 and up, and at that particular time we were trying to figure out why is this coming back. I'm at 54 years old, so why is this? And then I found out it was 22, and then it was just crazy times at that time. So I was talking to, I had to go to different places like Miami and in New York and stuff, talking to doctors, trying to find out exactly what was going on with this. And that's when we were telling them to people need their doctor, or not their doctor, but they need their pastors, they need therapists, they need people around them that will continue to help them go forward. You know what I mean? So these are the things that we were doing back then. But before that, they didn't know nothing. They were like, we don't know where he's come from. We don't know if he drink it. We don't know if he eat it. I said, how do y'all do this? And y'all been messing with this. You're a specialist. You know what I mean? I said, that don't make sense.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but of course, when I started saying stuff like that, you're doing wrong. But no, I'm saying, but if I say wrong thing, they think I'm being a person that's. I'm just saying, I know that they know what the problem is, and I do believe that they know what can kill this thing. That's what I believe.
And let me interrupt here. That's why you have to make sure they asking the doctors the right questions. Make sure that you have someone there that if you're not willing and able to talk for yourself, someone can speak up for you. Now, like for you, Rob, you end up having, 1 or 2 strokes in the midst of having the multiple myeloma. Is that about right? About 1 stroke or 2?
That's correct.
Okay. 4. My goodness. So that's why you're looking at every aspect of what can really help in the long run. So this program is on not just to gripe about the doctor, but to find out what do I need to do to help myself do better. And you hear me often say, develop your team, develop your tribe, get someone around you that can help you in these various areas. Ask the right questions to the doctors. If the doctor says this medication can help you, but what will offset the medication? Does my diet have something to do with it? So forth and so on, because certain medications will react a certain way with food. So got to make sure you get the right kind of diet going on, and also exercise. And I heard you, Valerie, say that you exercise to build yourself back up again, because chemotherapy by itself will make you weak. It'll destroy muscles that wasn't meant to be destroyed. So you have to really rebuild those again, so you can at least be in a normal realm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to exercise every day. And it's one thing, to contribute to it. I believe, and I thank God, my mom is in the process of, and I thank God, and I know it's the Lord. It's just, keeping us.
Mm-hmm.
That, she's going through the treatment now for multiple myeloma, and I believe, and we're all believing in the goodness of God, and that she is healed. Her levels have stayed up. One time, I think, her potassium and magnesium was down. They had to put her in the hospital. But ever since then, just we made sure that, like you said, your team, your support is there. She's now going to physical therapy to, keep up her muscles. She'll be 88. To keep up her muscles and to keep her health up. And I know it's a combination of family, love, doctors, making sure that we are there at every visit, take her, make sure that someone's there listening, making sure she's doing the things that, and I'm not saying that people don't, but making sure that, that because they can't, she can't have a stem cell treatment because of her age. Mm-hmm. But, just making sure, and I know it's the Lord that mainly I believe and know that it's just God keeping her and keeping us. Mm-hmm. But she has the team, she has the support, she has, my family in Charlotte that is taking her and supporting her, taking her to physical therapy, taking her to whatever the doctors are saying to get her what she needs. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't want to say, I just want to say in our situation, I know everybody's situation is different, but you're absolutely right. You need that. You need those people that are going to be there for you. I believe that, my healing came from my family and I, my husband and I standing together, believing and trusting God that, that the healing was there. I don't want to insult anybody and to say, oh, this is our situation. But I just really believe that you do need, like you said, that team of people. I still go see I just finished seeing a physical therapy for as a result, I had to go to Minnesota. I went from Minnesota. I've been from Minnesota to, like you said, we're doctors to doctors. Mm-hmm. And we're just kind of putting it all together and still being obedient to not only, do the things that the doctors say do, but also having the faith and, just making sure that you're doing the right thing. I don't know. It's just hard to, and I don't want to, insult anybody. Now I'm on such a diet that I can't eat everything because as a result of not only the stem cell, but all the things that have happened physically in my life, as far as health-wise, I now can't eat a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I have to, a lot of times I'll take my own food. I can't drink. I only drink two things. Well, I do drink my little chocolate, a little hot chocolate in the morning. Mm-hmm. But still, that has to be special milk. Yes. You just have to adapt to those things because you have to realize and say, okay, what kind of quality of life do I want? Even though it can be discouraging, it can be very, discouraging, but, with the help of God, He always gives that encouragement, just seeking God and seeking the joy to keep that encouragement. It can be very discouraging because, I'll look and I'll say, okay, I got this, I suffer with, neuropathy and I suffer with this and I suffer with, and yet, just thanking God that, I'm able to continue, yes. And I thank God for the gentleman that, 4 strokes, and you're still going and still working and still, good.
Yeah. Well, bottom line is that we know God is definitely involved with this scenario, but then there's others who don't believe in God that have to learn how to put things into place. But once you realize God's in place, He can truly make the difference. And it comes by your confession, how you speak and how you carry yourself. Because just as much as you're going through situations, many people have received this dreadful disease and have said, oh, woe is me, why me, why me? And not realizing that God still got something in store for them. So it comes with a proper attitude. And sometimes when you can't quite get it, there's therapists involved also. They can call upon, they can talk to you and encourage you as you go on these things.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. You need that encouragement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it comes. Where it comes from. So
that's it.
Yeah.
So,
excuse me, are you from Charlotte?
Yes, I am. I'm from North Carolina. I was raised we were born in Morrisville. We were raised in Davison, and then we moved to Charlotte. So, and then, I grew up in Charlotte, and, that's my home. That's where my family is.
Okay, all right. I won't ask questions, but that's I'm about to ask you, do you know the Kearns in Davison?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the Kearns.
That's Pops.
Yeah, we know the Kearns.
Okay. So, yeah.
All right.
So I'm just wondering, I go to I have a hard time to say the word
oncologist.
Mm-hmm.
Specialist. That's what I go to. Oncology specialist. Excuse me, keep talking like that. So I'll just let you know where I go to.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay.
Well, just to go back up, Robert Lasco is the founder of this organization, this Multiple Myeloma Education Fund. And this is why we're here. We're here to give information, education, and other things to help along the way to get people to understand that there is a way, even though it may not look clear. One of the things that we have is a book called Standing in the Gap, and the word gap is GAAP. This is a magazine that was put together by pharmacists, and Robert Lasco is one of the spokespersons for multiple myeloma in the African American community. So that's where we get this from initially. We want to share some websites and things to help people know where to look when they have questions about things, get answers. I pretty much hang on one website a lot, but there's others out there that can help. So I'm gonna share those real quick. Before I start, is there any other comments or questions moving forward? Okay. All right. BlackDoctors.org is one website that deals with Black health news, information on fitness, nutrition, and weight loss. There's a cancer support community. Is a social and emotional support network for people impacted by cancer. There's also a place called Myeloma, International Myeloma Foundation, which is myeloma.org. This is another place where I hang my hat on a lot of time because this International Myeloma Foundation is pretty large. It's been in existence for a while, and it has a lot of studies on there. They have webinars. They have other things along that line to help you see what's going on. In fact, a lot of questions I got to ask doctors came from that website. So that has a limited amount of questions, which is probably about 20 or 30 or even more questions you got to ask the doctor, like when you first start out or even in the midst of it, so you can get the help you need. And I add in there, about the dietitian. I add in there about, using vitamins and herbals, find out what works with one thing, what works with another, and what to stay away from. All those things very important. So,
Right.
Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, that's LLS.org. They are a large voluntary health organization dedicated to funding research, finding cures, and ensuring access to treatments for patients with blood cancer. We have the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. That's THEMMRF.org. Is a nonprofit research foundation whose mission is to accelerate next generation multiple myeloma treatments to extend patients' lives in pursuit of a cure. The Myeloma Beacon is Myeloma Beacon, multiple myeloma news, resources, and online forums for patients, medical professionals, and multiple myeloma. What I mentioned earlier about Standing in the Gap, there's a Facebook page that is called Standing in the Gap. In other words, it's facebook.com/Standing in the GAAP. This is the largest online community of African American patients with multiple myeloma. So that's where you get some testimonials, some things going along that line to help you. Things you might have forgotten that they can tell you they went through that to help you. But it's like we have a conversation here to help those that hear this to change their direction in life to work toward the cure. And of course, being a believer, I believe in healing. The last one I have is Myeloma Central. This is a Celgene sponsored website offering disease education and helpful resources for patients with multiple myeloma and their caregivers. I like that part because if anyone takes care of someone, there's a strain that takes place that has a tendency of causing the caregiver to get ill themselves. I've known situations where myself, because I had to deal with a situation where my first wife was living, and I cared for her for over 35 years. And I lost everything at one point. My immune system dropped, and I ended up almost dying. So the Lord kept me here for a reason. So this is part of the reason. But the website is www.myelomacentral.com. I hope that's helpful to anyone who hears this and can help us move forward in the things that can help you and I become better at what we do. So are there any comments to this? Want to add to what's been said?
No.
Okay, very good, very good. So we thank you for coming on board today, Valerie. We appreciate you.
awesome.
Yes, yes.
I'm glad to be able to.
Thank you, thank you. We may reach out to you at another time, but this is beautiful. We have your testimonial as what you went through, and even to the extension of what Rob was saying, that what he had to go through as well. But yet through it all,
Yes,
God reigns supreme.
yes he does.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
So at this point, we're going to close this session and get ready for our next one, which is called fatherhood. Um,
All right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about fatherhood as how we react to the Father, how the Father reacts to us as we follow his lead in this land. So it's not about daddies alone, it's about the Father. So you're welcome to come
Amen.
aboard. We're going to come on at 7 o'clock. So if you want to come back on board, Valerie, you're welcome to do so. Bring your husband on. We'll have a good conversation and go through some Bible lessons here, and then we call it from there. So again,
All right. Well, go ahead.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So right now,
I was gonna
go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Valerie.
I was gonna say I will ask him and see if he would like to come back on at 7 o'clock. That would be great.
All right,
I'll
sounds
ask
good.
him.
All right, great. Sounds good. Sounds good. But thank you so much, Valerie, for
Thank
coming
you.
on board, and thank you for Robert for being on spot as always. The CEO and founder of the Multiple Myeloma Education Fund. We make sure that people know where to get the books and get some other information, and even to the point where we may have some in-person visits. So we're looking for that in the future. So God bless you, and God bless you all who listen to board to receive what we have sent to you when this is all done by the grace of God, believing that all things are possible through him if you believe. And wisdom says, listen to your doctor, listen to God, and let them work together so you can get what you need for your life. God bless you.
Amen.
Till next
God
time,
bless you.
I bid you peace.
All right. Amen.
Amen.
Hello.